Kwavi. I'm a midlife lifestyle coach.
Thank you so much for joining us at another episode of our Spotlight series. And I have Mrs. Kwavi with me on set. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Midlife thriving, like you're the first person that I've ever heard come up with that term. Does it even exist?
Well, I know it does.
Yes, now it absolutely does. Yeah.
I think it should. And if it hadn't before, it should. It needs to be. I mean, it's midlife thriving to me is important for women in midlife because it's not the time that you need to hide and kind of shrink back into the shadows. That's the time you need to really thrive.
What made you come up with that?
Because, okay, after my 50th birthday in March, I had discussions with women who were in midlife. And for the most part, they all felt that, their life was over. And I'm like, there's no way. Midlife is not about your life being over. You've done all these different things. You have a lot of experience. For some women who have been married, they've been married for a while. If you have kids, you've had kids. And I'm like, why would your life be over? And I said, you know what, I'm coming up with this term where I'm going to allow women, give women that permission to thrive in midlife and embrace midlife as opposed to look at it as a time where it's daunting. And when I think about it, you really can't blame women because media, culture, I mean, ads on TV, they really don't focus on midlife women. They're looking at the young and everything is new and improved, So it's like, midlife, you might as well roll over and die. So that's the common theme that you see, and then people buy into that. But we can change our own narrative. I believe we have the power to do that as women, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, great. I have a beautiful midlife woman on set today. Thank you so much, Mr. Kwavi, for having me.
You're welcome.
Midlife thriving. I have never heard that term before until I heard it from you.
Okay.
What is midlife thriving?
Midlife thriving is giving women the opportunity to thrive in midlife. Unfortunately, we have all these different statements and themes from whether it's the media, ads, culture that kind of implies, when you get to midlife, it's over.
Right.
And a lot of women have bought into that. When I turned 50 in March, I had a lot of discussions with women in midlife. And that was their story. They felt that, midlife, you might as well roll over and die. And I felt, that is not the case. And I really want women to realize in midlife that they can actually thrive. They can embrace midlife and thrive through it. That's my goal. And one of the reasons why I even did my summit that I'm, having. Because I just want women in midlife to realize they have wealth of experience that people can benefit from. They've done so many different things. Some of them have had raised kids, their wives who have been married for a while. I mean, they've done all kinds of amazing things, and this is not the time to kind of shrink back. This is the time to really come into your own, and even if you want to start something else, this is the time, a great time to do it.
Wow. Okay, so just roll over and die. Why is it that women struggle with all that? Because I don't think men are at midlife or figuring out like, okay, it's time for me to.
No, it's not. And if you look at ads, I mean, look, when they show midlife men, they show people like,
there's
Clooney and people like that, Denzel Washington, and they all look, they don't show women like that in midlife.
Right.
In fact, when you go on Google and you type in midlife, next thing right after is crisis. It's like, I'm like, what? And then for midlife crisis, you'll show a man he has a sports car, but with the women, you don't see that. You see the women looking kind of like,
exhausted.
I'm like, no, we can change that narrative. We have the power to do that as women, and that's my goal, to kind of move women along that path to make them realize that this is a great opportunity for you. There are so many possibilities. It's a great time for you to change things if they're not working the way you want, or enhance things that you've been doing in the past.
Well, you said something about just being aware that they could start something even if they're 50. They could, as they have the wealth of experience.
Yes, they do. It's like they don't realize the power that
what
they have. Yeah, and I'm here to show them that they have so much power. That people are looking up to them and they can make a difference. Because I have all different areas that are being targeted, and I even have a woman who is a corporate lawyer who talks about how to reinvent yourself. As a midlifer. So I cover different topics because I really believe women need to hear this information.
Right.
And some of them don't know. See, that's the thing. You don't know what you don't know. So this is a way for me to enlighten them, to get their awareness out there, and to make them realize that there are other women doing amazing things, that they can do that too.
Do you think that the whole concept about midlife for women affects how millennials live their life, especially for the women as well?
Well, Probably, and it's strange. It's funny you should bring that about millennials. I actually did, for one of the summits, I actually interviewed, a millennial interviewed me.
Okay.
Because what I'm trying to do also too is, I want to empower the younger women coming up too, so that they can have, because the thing is, sometimes the reason why we don't do things is because of fear.
Right.
And fear sometimes is because we don't know. It's because like you don't know what's there. It's like, oh, I don't know what's there, and fear of the unknown. So I really want women to be aware. One of the interviews I did was a millennial interviewed me about menopause. So I actually created what the interview session was, a millennial's guide to menopause, because sometimes you hear all these stories like, oh, this is what happened, and I'll be honest with you, it's never really positive what you hear.
That's
most
true.
of the time.
That is absolutely true.
So I want to change that, and also let them be aware, and also what they can do to prepare for it, because that's the thing, when you can prepare, it's a big difference.
You're seeing a lot of things because that really powerful. Like I hopefully I'm still within the millennial bracket.
Yes, you are.
And I've not really thought that far to like midlife. Like I really like you say, when I hear menopause, I'm thinking, okay, dryness. in everything. Okay, 50, don't come anytime soon. I want to live my life now. But it's something about, if you don't know, you think it's something that is so scary, you're not prepared for it, and then you get to that point in your life, and then you don't know what to do.
You don't know what to do. Exactly.
You're like so lost.
Right.
Like even the thought of reinventing yourself doesn't even come to your mind.
It doesn't, because you're so scared, and then you feel, when you're scared, you're just paralyzed by fear sometimes. When you're paralyzed by fear so much, you just do nothing. You kind of just stay, because you just don't know what to do. And this summit was created to give women the power to realize that they can do a lot of things, and with the right information, they can do it. And there are other women doing it, so they can realize, oh wow, she's doing it. Look, she's in her 50s, she's in her 60s. The possibilities are endless, but you won't know if you don't, even open yourself to that possibility. And then the interview I did with them, it was really nice. She was so excited about it because it allowed her to ask me questions that she had heard but never really knew.
Right.
Is that true? And then also I was able to give her a plan to prepare for it. Like there are things you can start doing now in order to prepare for it, as a millennial.
You have got to tell us, because I want to know.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing, and for the others, you have to watch the summit.
Okay.
I'll give you one thing. One thing is, as a female, it's important that you start doing tests right now.
Okay.
A baseline test, so that once your estrogen and progesterone levels drop, you have something to compare with.
Right.
Because menopause happens at different times for different people.
Not necessarily
the same time, no. And it could be anything from your early 40s to mid 50s, but guess what? Sometimes the symptoms start even earlier. And when you start to recognize the symptoms, then you go like, oh, that's what that is. Because if you don't know, you're like, what's that?
Going on? Yeah.
And sometimes with women, we're busy with, if our kids have appointments, we don't miss our doctor's appointment for our kids, and then we encourage our husbands to take their appointments. But for us,
no, we move it to the next.
We might even book an appointment, but at the drop of a hat, we'll reschedule. And sometimes we reschedule and we cancel. We don't even reschedule. You know what I mean? So, but these are little things that you can start to pay attention. Oh, this happened. Maybe I need to speak to my OBGYN or my internist. So those are things that I'm trying to encourage women to do. And you know what the bottom line is?
Well,
we need to take care of ourselves. That's what it is, the bottom line. It really is to set time aside for ourselves. We don't do that. We don't. We do it for everyone else but ourselves.
It's an ongoing battle. Like even the previous interviews I've done, was almost like the same things. Women take care of the whole world but themselves. And
I'm trying to get women, especially women in midlife, is like, you know what, you've done that, and it's good. But now is the time for yourself. You need to set time aside for yourself. Right. You have to do it. Like for me, I like to wake up early in the morning before my kids are up. I have my home office. I meditate. I'll pray. That is my me time.
I think another reason why a lot of women struggle to taking care of themselves, because they feel like they don't deserve it.
But why though? And see, where does that stem from though?
That's the thing. Like there's so many. I think there's so many foundational issues that, the origin is hard to trace, but we can see the implications in our everyday life.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you start to take care of yourself, it's important. Like for me, exercise. I don't joke with that. For me, that is part of my self-care. Whether it's going walking or running, that is taking care of me. Right. I look at exercise as a gift to myself. That's how I look. I don't even look at it as, I have to do it because I want to do this. No, I look at exercise as a gift. Exercise is a gift to your body, because when you exercise, it makes you feel alive. You know, you get the endorphins going. It's just,
right.
And it's for you. Nobody, you exercise, no one can get the benefits of it.
But yourself.
It's about yourself. So it's a great way, to me, that's part of my self-care too. It's like, I can do that for me.
What about someone who's struggling with time?
See, that's the thing. You make time for what's important. You make time for what you think is important. It's all about prioritizing. Our kids would tell us, oh, we need to do this. You take them to soccer, you take them for whatever sport, you do that. You're ready, play day, birthday, you can do that.
Yes.
You can make the time. See, I think when it comes to exercise, I tell people, you can find 10 minutes. Because I always start with my clients, I always tell my clients, start with 10 minutes a day. If you can't find 10 minutes in your day, then I know there's a bigger issue going on. You can find 10 minutes.
Wow. So make time for yourself, even if it starts with just 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, I always start with 10 minutes. Because if you've never done it before, you can't just run to an hour.
I never think that you don't deserve it. Like, why do you think you don't deserve it?
Yeah, why do you think so? You really, and that's one thing I always tell my clients, I said, you need it, you deserve it, and you're worth it. I always tell my clients that all the time.
Okay, so fears. What does fear mean to you?
Fear is just that feeling I get when I go, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going to happen. That's
fear of the unknown?
Fear, most times it's fear of the unknown. For me, it's always fear of the unknown.
When you started Midlife Thriving, did you experience that fear?
No, because I think with Midlife Thriving, I knew that people would want this because I had kind of done a little survey beforehand, so that wasn't fear. And then the other thing is, age has never been something I've been worried about, because some women worry about aging.
Mm-hmm. You were never worried about aging?
Like from when I was a child, like, I had friends who would never say their age. I was never one of those. I'd be like, yeah, I'm this age. That's me. The things that made me scared or would put fear into me, when, I'll give you an example, like I created a program when I first started doing retreats, because I do retreats all over the world. Okay. So my first retreat, I created a retreat in Thailand. Really excited about it. I put it out there. Not one person signed up. Right. But even before that, I was scared, because I was like, I've never done this before. What's going to happen? Not one person signed up. I was like, oh my goodness, you know. And it, but there was a part of me that realized, I said, you know what? I know this is something women need. So you know what? I'm going to do it again next year. Okay. So when I did next year, people signed up, and then I did it again. People signed up, and then I'm going to Morocco next month, and then it's fully booked. Wow. But I think sometimes you have to push through the fear. Wow. You know, you have to kind of, you know, just allow yourself to feel the fear as opposed to avoiding it, you know. And that's what I did. It's like, it was a terrible time when that happened, but I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it again. And that is, I guess that's the difference between one person and the other person. Is if no one signed up the first time, some other person would think, okay, maybe this is not for me, maybe I made a mistake, maybe this is not my calling. But just the fact that you actually did it again the next year, like, what were you thinking? Well, because I knew that it was something that kept coming back up for me. Like, I have a vision board. Like, I normally do vision boards. That was one thing on my vision board. And when you do vision boards, I really believe that those are things that, when you put things down on your vision, they're things that really light you up. And that was one of the things that really lit me up. Like, being able to take women to a safe space. Because I really feel that women, we do so much. And I felt that a way for them to just go away somewhere that would be perfect for them, and then for them to be coached in a different setting to find out what they really wanted to do in life without distraction of husband or kids or pets, none of those distractions, and you know, in a really nice location, and just for them to be pampered, because that was the whole goal, for them to be away from everything and be pampered for a certain period of time, and also focus on themselves. I knew that women needed that. I need that environment. Yeah, see, I knew that women needed that, and I knew I was able to do it, because I love doing that. I knew I would be able to do it, but I just felt maybe that wasn't the right timing. But I did it again, and it worked, and I've done 3. I mean, I've done 2 since then. I'm doing another one next month, and I do another one next year. So consistency. Women doing it for it, right? Yeah. But you're also more than Midlife Tribe. Like, you have other things. I know, like the marathon, you know, the weight loss coach as well. Like, there's so many aspects to you. Yeah. But I think I'm trying to use Midlife Now more to encompass all of them. Because I'm in Midlife Now, and I know that women in midlife need this. Like, women in midlife, If they want to lose weight, I can help them with that.
Right.
If they want retreats, I can help them with that. If they want ideas about, how to focus more on themselves, because I do that with my workshops for vision board. So there are so many, and the thing is, even though I focus on midlife, I also help women who are not in midlife, because I do have women that are not in midlife asking me for help too. So
that's very, very needed. We need to be prepared for midlife,
Yes.
And you say something about you also help women lose weight. I know that when I was reading up, one of the fears was trying to sell something that you have not needed per se.
Yes.
How do you go through that?
And see, that was the thing, because that was one of my fears. When I first started coaching, I told my coach that I trained, and I said, one of my fears is, will people relate to me? They're like, well, you've never had a weight issue. Why are they going to come to me? And she told me, one of the things she first said was, Kwavi, have you ever gone through any problem? Have you ever had any challenges? I'm like, yeah, you'll be okay. And then the other thing she said was, I should stop focusing on me. Like when you do that, you're focusing on yourself. Focus on how you can help people. Don't worry about what people. She said that's your ego in the way. Just let it go. I'm like, okay, let me not focus on that. And the thing is, really, when it comes to experience, people are not looking. There are some people that might come for that, but she's like, wow, there are so many people in the world. There are some people that are going to come specifically because they see that this is what you've done consistently throughout your life. They're going to come to you for that. So don't worry about it.
Well, we still talked about just not focusing on yourself. I think that's what holds us bondage, right?
Yes.
We think it's how will people see me? What will people come to meet me? Like I'm not expert enough. But it's me.
That's it. That's what we're focusing. We're thinking about ourselves. Like don't forget, think about the benefit that you can provide. And that's when it kind of shifted for me. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me provide that. And there are people that will come to me like, Kwavi, I've watched you, I've seen you. This is you. This is your life. You're consistent, and that's why I want you to help me. So yeah.
So for women who want to thrive in their midlife, what's the first 5 advice you would give them?
5?
Yes.
The first one is they really have to decide, okay, you know what? Focus on yourself. Okay. It's okay. It's not a selfish thing to take care of yourself. Second thing I want them to do is really look in the mirror and look at themselves and appreciate themselves for who they are. Stop looking at all the flaws. We all have flaws, Stop looking at all the flaws and just kind of let that go. The other thing is, in midlife, even if you've done things a different way all this time, this is the time to start looking at your life very differently. And with that, I regards to exercise.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter if you start 10 minutes a day, do something. At this point in time, midlife brings its own challenges. And there are certain illnesses that you're more prone to once you hit midlife. Exercise is a great way to combat that.
Okay.
So even if it's just walking or dancing or yoga, do something. Movement is so important this time. And now also the fourth one is your food. What are you eating? Start to journal and look at, okay, what have I been eating before that works? Because a lot of times, even for me, I'm telling you, I'll be honest with you, midlife, there were things I could eat before that I could no longer eat. I eat them now, I feel bloated. And I think it's our body's way of telling us it no longer works for us. So listen to your body's signals. It's there for a reason. Don't think that it's like, oh no, don't ignore it. It's there for a reason. And the fifth one is, I really want you to schedule the me time. Don't just say, okay, I'm taking it. Schedule it like a regular appointment. Put it in there as like a regular appointment and take care of yourself, because it's so important. You can't give to others if you don't give to yourself.
Right. Schedule your me time, exercise, even watch your food as well. It's I think that really, even for just not just the midlife, just from millennials, making it a lifestyle as well. And I think another reason why people think, okay, midlife has nothing to do with me, I still have so much time in front of me, is that they're not aware of what the difference is. So I want you to educate us, like, is it going to be so drastically different, or how would we know the changes?
Well, okay, the thing is, midlife occurs for different people. It appears at different times, but generally, I'll give you an example. Like there are some, like for me now, like once you hit midlife, there are certain things that come with menopause, especially. And I think that's probably where most people see the change. Because if you don't experience menopause, that means you're dead, basically. You know what I mean? So just think about it. So with menopause comes, it could be, I know people talk about hot flashes a lot, but not everyone experiences that. It could be something as similar as just the brain fog that happens a lot, where you get forgetful, you become forgetful. Even sleep can be affected during this time. And that's why it's important to pay attention to your body, because you will notice these if you listen to your body. You'll notice, you know what, I don't sleep anymore. So, or if you sleep, you can't sleep, you can't stay asleep.
Okay.
It's like you'll fall asleep, but you might not stay asleep, you keep on waking up.
Yeah.
Those are some of the things. It could be something as simple like weight gain. There are lots of my clients who exercise, ate well, did it, all of a sudden they're doing the same thing, hasn't changed, but all of a sudden they're gaining weight. Those are some of the things, subtle changes. But with estrogen declining, it affects all elements of our body. It's amazing. I mean, it wasn't until I started doing the research, I was like, really, estrogen does this? It does a lot. It has a lot. I mean, it does a lot for our body. So once it declines, you start to see gaps here and there, like, oh my goodness, I can't do this, or you have joint pain, or just little things like that. So I think as millennials, things are great now, and that's good. Awesome. But it's also good. I also want you to pay attention to your bodies as as you get older. Different things will happen, and don't just think, oh, just ignore it. Pay attention to it and see.
And the estrogen you mentioned now, I know there's all these pills and science and all that. Do you advise for it?
I'll be honest with you, I always tell people to go to the physician, because not everyone's a candidate for those options. Whether it's a topical option, a tablet, or the ring, they have so many different ways, or hormone replacement. Speak to your physician first, because not everyone's a candidate, and there are some side effects. But I also know that for some women, their symptoms are unbearable, that they have to do something. So they might the benefits might outweigh the side effects. So it's always good to speak to your physician and make sure. And don't we females don't go to the doctor. You need to schedule the time.
Right. So how do you set up yourself for success when you wake up in the morning? I know you talked about having your time before the kids wake up. How do you have that set up?
That helps me, and I write things down. I have my to-do list, and I look through it. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Like Sunday night, I try to get it done and write down what I have to do for the week. Like, okay, I have this. I like to schedule things. I can't go, oh, okay, I'll just wing it. No, that's just not me. I'm organized like that. That's how I kind of figure out, okay, what do I have to do? And writing it down and just knowing, okay, I have this due today, and then focus. I have a home office. I use, I like essential oils. I'll put it in my diffuser. I like to use peppermint because it's supposed to be good for clarity, and I enjoy it. So I'll have my peppermint essential oils in my diffuser, and I just kind of walk systematically. That's me. I can't just say, okay, I'm going to do this now. I like, okay, I have to do it. And the other thing I try to do is I try to do the things I don't like first, because I can get stuck in. Like when I'm organizing a retreat, I love doing that, so I can get stuck in that. But there are also things I have to do that I don't particularly like. So I try to do those first, so I can get to the other stuff.
Okay, great. Just being here, talking to you, and hearing all the things you say, it's really mindset shift, and I want to explore. Try new things, exercise.
Oh, the new thing is so huge though, in midlife. Try new things. That is one thing that can keep you feeling alive, because it activates the brain cells when you try something new, and when you achieve it, you're like, oh, wow, I did that, and you're like, yes.
So just trying new things and putting themselves out there. So midlife thriving really should be global.
Right, I agree. It's really, that's my goal, is to take it global, to have not only, because I did this online summit, which is online. My goal is actually to have live events in different countries where we're talking about midlife women and inviting different women in midlife who are doing really well, and just allowing them to impart their knowledge to others, and other women can see this like, wow, she can do it, I can do it too.
Yes. And what other new projects do you have? I like to ask that question in my interview, so that everybody feel like they heard it here first.
Okay. Well, one of the things I am doing that I'm working on now is I'm working on a deck of cards.
Okay.
And the deck of cards has images of different African attires. So from all over Africa, and on the back it has different things that women can do. So like I have one that says leave ego at the door, like check your ego at the door, and it has a woman dressed in a beautiful Yoruba outfit. And what that is don't worry about yourself, just think about what you can give to others. And at the back of each card it has what women can do to kind of empower themselves.
Wow.
And then I talk about another one I mentioned is where I say exhaustion is not a status symbol.
So that again,
exhaustion is not a status symbol. So it's like, you know what, fine, you can keep on going, but you know what, that is is not the only deal. And then at the back it talks about how you can, what are some of the things you can do to help yourself as opposed to just doing going.
Yeah.
You know, you have to kind of give back to yourself.
How do you balance everything? I know your mom, your wife, got this business is going on as well. How do you keep everything going?
I think scheduling the me time is important for me.
Okay.
Like my kids know it, my husband knows it. I have to have my time. It's non-negotiable.
Okay.
I have to have that time for me. Whether it's my exercise, I don't joke with that. Exercise helps me.
And she's gonna show some of the exercises that
just maybe a couple. For me, it's exercise is non-negotiable. It just helps me think clearly. Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
And what's the best piece of advice you have been given that maybe started you on this journey?
I think my dad.
Okay.
My dad always told me, Kwavi, you can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
You have and he always told me, he's like, whatever you really want to do, just put your energy into it. He always told me that. So, and I love that because when I would do things, people are like, it's kind of like, no. And what's the worst that will happen? It won't work, right? Okay, then I try something else or I do it differently. I learn from my mistakes. He always told me, whatever you want, just put your energy towards it. Yeah.
And for, let me say, just going back to the midlife woman who's probably struggling with the fear of guilt because she feels like taking me time is taking away time from other people that are close to her, how would you talk her out of that?
The first thing I'll say is, whether it's your kids, your husband, the thing is, they have their things that they do, right? So why do you think it's not okay for you to do it? And you know what? Midlife, especially for women who have kids, I'll tell you this though. Your kids don't think twice about hanging out with their friends. I'm telling you. As much as you don't like it. And the thing is, at some point, they will leave the home. What's going to happen? You don't want to be in a situation where you're like, oh, your life revolves all around their activities.
Yes.
And when they leave, you have nothing. And that can be depressing in itself. So think about that. Think about because I know there's something that you love to do. I know there's some desires that you've had that you've probably put on the back burner because of the kids. Go back to those. Think about what you liked as a child. I know there were some things you really, truly enjoyed. Go back to that. Because those are the things that are going to fulfill you once the kids leave the home. Or, once your husband starts doing something. Because we all have interests. We all have interests. It's unfortunate that we women don't, follow our own interests. Our husbands do, the kids do, but we sometimes say, oh no, I'll take care of them.
Right.
Follow your interests. Follow your desires. It's important.
There's so many fundamental foundational issues. Number one, when you get married, they tell you there's a marriage of destiny and I'm very spiritual.
Yes.
It's marriage of destiny, and then there's maybe destiny of like yourself and your spouse.
Yes.
So sometimes women feel like, okay, my husband's vision is mine. So I think you kind of like need wisdom to figure exactly, okay, is this what God told me to do at the first, chance? Because if not, you can't like continue to follow someone's vision and make it happen, and then you lose yourself in the whole process.
Listen, my pastor even said it yesterday. He said, you know what? Sometimes we hold on to other people's faith. You can't do that. You have to have your own.
And I feel because we've not taken the time to figure exactly who we are.
That's the thing, and that's the other thing too. Some people don't want it because they're scared. They're like, I don't know what to do, because they just love the fact that they can kind of do stuff
for other people, but not for themselves, because they don't want to focus, because they know that they focus on themselves, the truth will be revealed.
And there might be nothing there, and they're like, what do I do? Because there's nothing. They're like, and that can be scary because you're grown and you have not, you know what I mean? It's like, it's easy to point to other people because that's like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
And that's like their mode of accomplishment. Like, I help this person do this. My son is this, my husband is that. So
okay,
that's what
about you? And then when you really try to have an in-depth conversation, there's nothing. They can't say anything because there's nothing to say. They can't. And you can see that there's a part of that kind of wants that, but they probably don't even know how to do that process.
And I feel like, to be on the safe side, if I can use that word safe, is really don't wait till midlife to figure that out.
No. Midlife, you should be reinventing. It's like one of the women during the summit, she talked about Act 2. That's when you should be doing a different thing. That's when you're trying to do something different because you've done all this and you're like, you know what?
I know myself, let me try something else, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so women were like always on the edge, always on the go, always, I see the scale is about to tip off. Why do you think we get to that point?
I think sometimes women have to realize that they have to take care of themselves. I think we get into that mood where we're constantly giving. forget about who we are, and all of a sudden we're like, who am I? I think we really need to take that time and just realize, because our husbands take care of themselves. They know what to do, right? Whether it's golf or whatever, they typically have some kind of outside interest. The kids, as they get older, they have their play days, and then they graduate to sleepovers, and they hang out with their friends, and eventually they go to college, and then they leave the house. And you're there. You have nothing, because you're like, oh, nothing else to go. This is the time. That's why midlife, okay, maybe you might want to wait till then, but even before then,
right,
you really should find your own outside interests. Find things that really fill you up and satisfy you, because every single person has something. There were things that you enjoyed as a child that you could probably still do now. That you have those dreams and desires. This is time to nurture those, because you don't want to get to a point where you're like, okay, what about me? And sometimes when you do that, resentment kicks in. But you're forgetting that you always had a choice. I always tell women all the time, you always have a choice. And when you don't make a choice, someone else will make it for you. So it's always good to just make that choice. And make the choice that you're comfortable with, so that you don't feel like, oh, this person made me. No, make a choice that you're comfortable with.
Wow, you always have a choice, even when the resentment kicks in, or when we begin to feel a little bit, like someone else's fault, it's really our fault.
It is. It's always up to you. You always have a choice. And that's why I said, if you don't make a choice, someone else will make it for you. And it might not be what you want. So that's why it's always good to make a choice. Make a choice you're comfortable with. And women, remember, you can decide to change your mind after. You can make a choice now and say, you know what, I didn't like that shape. That's okay. Yeah.
Well, I want to just thank you so much, because in as much as I'm in the millennial bracket, it's just knowing that you can't cheat yourself now and expect great returns later. You got to set the foundation right. Like right now, we have the blessing and opportunity of time.
Yes.
So whatever seeds we're sowing now is what we're going to reap much later.
Yes.
And something else you said about, you're supposed to be reinventing yourself at midlife. Not necessarily starting part 1, but starting like part 3, part 5, like doing the things that, that probably before you were scared to do. Like that should, just the fact that you're like 50 or 60 should be like, yes, you have this new wave of energy. Like I've been there, done that, let's try something new. Like people, the younger ones should look up to you and be like, wow, like this woman is definitely alive and thriving, So it's definitely realigned my mindset, to think, to really prepare now for later.
Yeah, because the thing is, regret is a terrible thing to experience. And that's why I always tell women, try whatever it is that you really want to
try.
Because you know what? Okay, what's the worst that will happen? It won't work out, right? Okay, but you know what? You won't regret it because you tried it.
Right. And even for you, I know there are some things that you tried that you always wanted to do. You have to tell us about it.
Yeah, because like one of the things I said, because when I was in my 20s, I would model, and I said, okay, you know what? When I turn 50, I want to go start modeling again. And then my first modeling assignment, which was not what I expected, I had to model a bikini on TV. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. But I did it. You know what? And so I can say at 50, I modeled a bikini on TV.
Exactly.
There's so many different things, so many places I want to travel to, and I'm like, why not?
Did you do dancing as well?
Yes, I did. And I wanted to, that was another thing I wanted to do, because growing up, I would watch Fame. For those who remember Fame back in the day, I loved that show. And I said, okay, you know what? I want to be part of a hip-hop group. So I signed up for this class. We did for 12 weeks, and then we performed. And we had a performance for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. People paid and came and watched us. That was, it was amazing. It just made me feel alive. It really did. And that's why when you have things, you really want to kind of check them off your list, because first of all, tomorrow isn't guaranteed. It isn't. And then if you do live long enough, into your 70s and 80s, you're going to look back and say, oh, I wish I had done that. And even if it didn't work out, you say, oh, at least I did it. You can say that.
So to the woman watching, one of the goal really of the Spotlight series is, if she can, you can. And Kwavi definitely is doing so many things at her age, looking this fabulous, eating well, exercising, dancing, modeling, thriving at midlife. Trust me, if she can, you definitely can.
Yes.
And even the takeaway from this will be, have me time. Just try to figure exactly who you are, what you enjoy doing, and regardless of how old you are, just do adventures, because like I say, regret is a terrible
feeling,
emotion
to experience.
And regardless of whatever fear you're struggling with, trust me, the fear of regret is worse.
Yes, it is.
Just what's the worst that can happen? Like you say,
what's the worst that can happen?
You say you tried it and hey, it worked out. Oh, hey, it didn't work out.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. Thank you again, Kwavi.
Oh, you're welcome.
Once
Thank
again,
you.
and we're not done yet. She's gonna share some exercises, that we can do. So no excuses. All right.
Exercise is very important in midlife, and it doesn't matter if you've never exercised before. You can start, and I normally recommend you start like 10 minutes a day, 3 to 4 times a week, and then kind of build on that. And exercise could be walking, running, jogging, skipping, dancing, yoga, something that gets your body moving. When you hit midlife, your body needs that. And find something that you enjoy, because there's no point trying to do something that everyone else is doing or that's trending, and then after a while you're like, I don't want to do that anymore. So find something that you truly enjoy so that it can be sustainable. One of the things I started doing recently is skipping, and the reason why I love skipping is I can do wherever I am. I can travel with my jump rope. I can do wherever. I don't have to pay anyone to do it. I can do it where I can just find a little space wherever it is, and I can do it. I really do enjoy it. I'm getting better at it because I'm not that fast, but it doesn't matter. My body's still getting the benefit from it. And skipping is, the different styles of doing it. I typically do this. Just get your body pumping, your heart pumping, and get those endorphins flowing.
The next time, have a fabulous day. Bye.